to the dark case files.
The following story is based on real case files and historical evidence. Viewer discretion is advised.
New Orleans in the early 1900s thrummed with music and something darker, hidden beneath the jazz. Brass horns echoed, weaving through fog, while shadows whispered of fear the city couldn't see. Every glow of the lamps hid a trembling heartbeat, a pulse of dread few could feel. Families huddled in their homes, unaware that a predator sharpened his blade in silence. The first whispers came as broken doors and splintered wood, heralding death's arrival. Victims were found in their own blood, the axe, always their own, gleaming in horror. Cryptic messages, scrawled in pencil, deepened the city's fear. A warning etched in blood. Police searched tirelessly, questioning barbers, drifters, anyone who might hold the truth. Even family was suspected. Desperation blurred the line between justice and hysteria. The city held its breath, praying the Axeman would pass by, unseen, unheard. Newspapers screamed panic, spreading fear faster than truth ever could. Every door, every lock, every whispered prayer could not keep him away. Even jazz clubs hushed, the city's music bending to terror's will. 8 months pregnant, barely alive, yet a message was clear. No one was safe. Skulls fractured, beds soaked, the victim's own tools turned against them. No witnesses saw him clearly. He melted into darkness like smoke. He entered homes unseen, chiseling back panels to reach his prey. The victim's own axes became instruments of fear and death. By 1919, New Orleans was a city divided. Pray or fight, hope or hide. Psychics claimed to summon him, but the truth remained a phantom. Then a letter arrived, written in perfect script, addressed to all mortals. It spoke of invisibility, of spirit and demon. Chilling arrogance in every word. Fear gripped the city as the promise of terror became clear and real. The letter instructed, play jazz or face the wrath of the Axeman. Trumpets, pianos, and drums became shields in a night of terror. New Orleans erupted into music, a citywide gamble with death itself. For one night, the city danced to survive, every note a heartbeat. The Axeman watched, unseen, assessing. Yet no one died that night. By morning, survival became legend, and music had saved the city. This once, but fear lingered. The Axeman's shadow remained, waiting for the silence to return. The night of March 19th pulsed with terror and rhythm. Every note a prayer for survival. Even the poorest lit candles and gramophones, playing not for pleasure, but to survive. Jazz bled into alleys, each melody a shield against the unseen evil outside. Mothers rocked children gently, praying as horns clashed with the night's fear. Mothers rocked children gently, praying as horns clashed with the night's fear. In rich neighborhoods, music played ceaselessly, a guard against death lurking unseen. Those who had no musicians banged rhythm on pots, hoping the Axeman would pass. The city had made a pact with melody, dancing for their lives beneath a curse. Morning came, and no blood was spilled. The Axeman had kept his promise. The press hailed it a miracle, a night when music became a weapon. Police continued through fog-drenched streets, vigilant, though relief was brief. Detectives interrogated hundreds, yet the killer's face remained invisible. Period. Some suspected a carpenter, butcher, or even a doctor skilled in human anatomy. On August 10th, 1919, Steve Boca's home was broken into. The signature, unmistakable. He survived, but the killer vanished, leaving terror behind as always. Panic roared back. Whispers became shouts, and families fled the city in fear. A few nights later, Sarah Lauman survived an attack, yet could describe nothing. The papers called him the ghost of the hatchet, though he was terrifyingly real. He targeted Italian grocers, sparing no age or wealth, striking only opportunity. The jazz letter fascinated the press, a mad taunt or deliberate riddle. Sailors and children told tales. The Axeman's myth grew, haunting the foggy streets. Every few nights, scraping wood echoed, yet nothing was ever found. On October 27th, Mike Pepitone became the last known victim, blood painting his walls. And his wife awoke to a nightmare, witnessing his final struggle in horror. After that night, the Axeman vanished completely. No one saw him again. Jazz captured his legend, immortalizing the Axeman in rhythm and melody. New Orleans waited for another threat, but silence reigned instead of horror. The Axeman's shadow lingered in imagination. Every corner, a threat unseen. The Axeman's shadow lingered in imagination. Every corner, a threat unseen. Even after the murders ceased, fear and legend remained, stitched into every street. The Axeman was gone, yet in New Orleans, death and music danced forever together. By the winter of 1920, New Orleans had fallen quiet, but it was not a peaceful. It was the kind that made dogs bark at nothing, and old women crossed themselves when the wind whistled too. People walked faster at night, locking their doors with trembling hands. Though the killings had stopped months, everyone said the Axeman was gone. The newspapers had turned their obsession into mythology. They printed tales of his origins. Some said he was an escaped lunatic, others a musician who made a... Some said he was a sailor who vanished with the tide, leaving only... Detective John Danton, one of the few who had worked every Axeman case, refused to give up. He spent sleepless nights, reviewing every report. Catching the Axeman had become his... A Creole woman claimed a spirit of vengeance had awakened, feeding on fear and blood. Sometimes, when the night was still, faint jazz drifted through the fog, though no band played. Survivors tried to rebuild, but nightmares lingered, haunting every wake. Mrs. Pepitone lived in seclusion, haunted by footsteps outside her window. The fear of the Axeman reshaped New Orleans. Locksmiths made fortunes overnight, space. Thank you very much. People learned to live with fear. Just as one Danton investigated a shack where fishermen heard metal scraping and faint laughter. He wrote, "The city isn't done with him," or maybe, "He isn't done with the city." By the mid-1920s, jazz exploded, echoing from every corner. The locals never forgot its dark. Old-timers told children of footsteps behind them if they walked alone at midnight. Musicians said a stranger sometimes appeared, asking to hear the latest jazz composition. He never spoke much, only smiled, unsettling even the boldest players. He paid only in coins so old they had gone out of circulation. Some insisted he was never a man, but something older, darker, bound to the city. Detectives studied the pattern. Italian grocers, chiseled door. No one knew why he struck only these targets or why he vanished afterward. The legend of the Axeman became a story to frighten children into a. Stray cats vanished during blackouts. Their bodies later found near broken doors, beneath trumpets and laughter. Another rhythm hid. The rhythm for New Orleans. The Axeman was not just a killer. He was a reminder of the thin line between the living and the dead. The Axeman had faded into legend, but detectives still wondered, who was he? Fragments hinted he might not have been a spirit, but a man hidden in plain sight. One suspect appeared repeatedly, Joseph Mumfrey, tied to the city's underworld. Mumfrey extorted Italian grocers, demanding protection money. In 1920, Esther Pepitone saw him and recognized the man who killed. Consumed by rage, she tracked him for days, prepared. One evening, she confronted Mumfrey and fired, ending his life instantly. The public felt justice had finally been served. Eerie, hidden in his attic, ledgers, axes, and tools suggested some attacks after Mumfrey's death were called copycats, but Danton suspected otherwise. Every attack occurred near a crescent moon, close to the river, often with jazz nearby. Every attack occurred near a crescent moon, close to the river, often with jazz nearby. Musicians joked, "Play loud or the Axeman might come for you." Every location told a story, and every story hinted at a dark presence. The streets themselves remembered him, whispering through shadows and fog. Attached, journalist Gleason proposed the Axeman might be many men, not just. The retired captain said Mumfrey fit, but there was something in the night air. Unexplainable. Every possible explanation unraveled the deeper you chased it. Maybe he was a mobster, a lunatic, a demon, or all three. Even today, when silence falls between songs, people joke. The Axeman, her act gave closure. The ledgers hinted at secrets that might. Copycat crimes sparked whispers, but the original shadow remained. Gleason painted the Axeman as a symbol, a collective terror. The city learned to laugh at its own curse, yet never forgot. Jazz musicians still invoked his name, half in fear, half in fascination. Even decades later, shadows reminded New Orleans of what. Letters claimed he was a spirit, a demon, leaving more questions than answers. Perhaps he was a man, a monster, or something older. The Axeman remains a mystery, a shadow between music and death. In New Orleans, decades passed, but the Axeman never truly died. His name whispered like a warning. In late-night bars, his story was told for tips, with smoky flair and knowing smiles. Lock your doors, play music loud, and never let the night grow too quiet. Crime remained thick. Old-timers swore the Axeman's curse returned every few decades. In 1959, Antonio Ferraro's store bore a chilling resemblance to old Axeman attacks. Police laughed, but one officer recognized the pattern. Fear returned silently. The air felt wrong. Even the river seemed to hold its breath. Shops sold charms against the Axeman. Laughter hid nervous fear. Writers, musicians, and filmmakers resurrected the legend. Evil never leaves New Orleans. In 1978, Reynolds concluded the Axeman was born of the city itself. His attacks formed a chilling pattern, part human, part symbolic terror. Investigators claim to feel energy imprints, phantom footsteps, echoes of jazz. The Axeman had returned, not with an axe, but through memory. In 1981, a tourist heard music that seemed alive, though no one was there. The frame of the back door bore marks identical to previous Axeman attacks. Tour guides retraced murder paths, dressed in 1919 attire, swinging prop axes. Between laughter and fear, the city relived its trauma. Entertainment masking terror. He said the Axeman wasn't just a man, he was a curse. And the legend waited in quiet corners, echoing alleys, and abandoned houses. He lived in the pauses between music just before drums start, in silent anticipation. On March 19th, some claimed to hear faint jazz drifting through the fog. No band, no players, only the ghost of jazz itself, keeping time with eternity. Some say the city remembers that one night when music saved it. Others believe it is the Axeman himself, keeping time with the rhythm of eternity. In quiet corners, the legend waits, alive in the city's imagination. Every shadow, every sound, every silence reminded residents of the curse. He might have vanished from newspapers, but in imagination, he never stopped swinging. Every heartbeat remembered the fear of the blade, lingering in the air. The song always ends the same way, with silence. And in that silence, New Orleans listens. Refused to die, even as New Orleans changed. He could still be walking among us, guides warned with a smirk. In 2004, doors were carved, tools left behind. Jazz faint in the night. LeBlanc recognized the signature instantly. "It's him," he whispered. He studied faded reports, sketches, and autopsy notes, chasing truth. Then came Hurricane Katrina, silencing the city and its music. An old axe resurfaced near Ursulines Avenue, initials JA faintly visible. Historians confirmed one early suspect, Joseph Arata, who vanished after the final murder. Sign. Locals reported seeing a figure walking through floodwaters, carrying something heavy. By 2007, LeBlanc traced modern break-ins in a crescent pattern along the Mississippi River. LeBlanc visited St. Louis Cemetery, guided by patterns in the crime maps. He heard faint jazz, low and soft, like a heartbeat beneath the crypt. 3 soft knocks followed, and a whisper, "Play for me." He stumbled back and ran, leaving the crypt in ominous silence. Etched faintly were 2 letters, AX, a haunting signature of the past. He resigned, leaving the mystery behind, unwilling to speak publicly again. Even in exile, the pattern haunted him. The Axeman wasn't gone. Music returned from the ashes, keeping the city alive and the axe at bay. Jazz rose again, resilient, echoing through streets that once trembled. Music became the shield, the heartbeat, the ritual that survived. On March 19th, the anniversary of the Axeman's letter, some hear jazz where none plays. If the city grows quiet, if music fades, the Axeman waits, patient and silent. The rhythm of the city beats with shadows of the past. Every pattern, every line, every mark reminded him of the unseen menace. Ghosts of old crimes lingered in empty houses and silent streets. Locals knew the city feeds the darkness, and it never truly sleeps. Even unseen players continue the music, warding off the curse. Some claim to hear the soft knocking on March 19th, still waiting. Every year, the city remembers and the music never dies. Because in New Orleans, music is life, and when the music stops, so does everything else. Memory clings to the city, to every balcony, every sidewalk. The Axeman is an echo. By the 2010s, his legend drew cameras and curiosity seekers. The Axeman became a brand, a headline, a costume, but locals knew better. Filmmaker Elena Moreau noticed faint saxophone sounds where none should exist. The offbeat rhythm repeated again and again, whispering, "You stopped the music." The Night of Jazz and Shadows festival emerged, keeping the music alive every March 19th. Thousands played instruments, yet some swore they saw a tall shadow moving with the rhythm. A man with a hat and long coat nodding to the music, unseen on camera. In 2021, a 27-second blackout fell. Silence swallowed the streets. Witnesses heard slow, deliberate footsteps echoing through the streets. When the lights returned, one trumpet player was missing. Only his instrument remained. Organizers ensured the music never stopped. The city's heartbeat continued. In 2023, a security guard heard footsteps inside long after hours. A splintered door and a single wood chisel confirmed someone or something had been inside. Every generation finds its own Axeman, a shadow, a whisper, a rhythm that refuses to die. Walk alone at 3 a.m. and faint jazz spills from nowhere, mingling with the fog. A cold hand brushes past, a breath near your ear. Keep playing. The bars fill, horns cry, drums echo through streets slick with history. Each note carries a warning disguised as melody. Each beat reminds the city what sleeps beneath its beauty. As long as the city sings, the Axeman listens, watching, waiting, keeping time with the heartbeat of New Orleans itself. Legends here don't die. They just learn to keep rhythm. The pulse of a city beats in every note, every shadow, every silence. Some who seek the truth never leave unchanged. The Axeman lingers in memory. The city learned to never let music die, and the legend grew stronger. A shadow moves between buildings, keeping pace with the jazz. Every generation finds its own Axeman, woven into the city itself. He is the pulse that drives New Orleans forward, a whisper in every corner. And as long as the city sings, the Axeman listens, watching, waiting.